Khamzat is out. Enter Khamzat 2.0, Ikram Aliskerov. But in all seriousness, Khamzat Shemaev is one of the biggest wasted potential I've ever seen. Okay? This guy had probably one of the craziest rises in the UFC, and he has lost almost all of his star power and his aura that he has ever had. And I do really feel bad for the guy because there's nothing that he can do about it. He already can't fight in the USA, and now he's battling another super serious illness that has forced him to pull out of his fight with Ikram Aliskerov. And I honestly hate the hate that he is catching on Instagram and social media in general. I mean, everyone is hating on Khamzat for pulling out, but there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You see this picture on Full Violence's Twitter page of Khamzat Shemaev looking absolutely terribly ill, and Guram Kutaleksi sitting on the side looking like he's mourning the loss of a loved one. I mean, this is bad. This is bad. In all seriousness, this might be a career for Khamzat Shemaev. I mean, this is another one of the terrible illnesses that he's had. He's already retired once because of an illness, and now I can honestly see it happening again. I mean, this is terrible. Khamzat's out of his fight. But enter Ikram Aliskerov, basically Khamzat 2.0. If there's any guy that could be Khamzat, it's probably Ikram. I mean, even though Ikram's huge rise to fame was getting knocked out by Khamzat Shemaev with that absolutely nasty uppercut off of the UFC octagon. But wow, man, this is a huge shot to all the MMA fans. I was super hyped to see Khamzat Shemaev go out there, and I thought he was going to dominate Robert Whittaker. I would have picked Khamzat by a first or second round submission. But enter Ikram Aliskerov, 17-1, absolute dog in the UFC, and people forget, man, or not forget, but people just don't even know how good this guy's grappling really is because of how good his striking is. I mean, this guy's got some pop, man. Ikram Aliskerov has a nasty jab, and he is one of the only people, according to Khamzat and his coaches, to actually be able to stuff Khamzat Shemaev's takedowns. So I honestly feel like this fight's going to be super interesting. I'm not picking Ikram Aliskerov, but I do think that this fight's going to be really good. And as for Robert Whittaker, huge step down in competition. Honestly, I don't even know why he's taking this fight. I think he's in huge jeopardy right now because it is a high risk, no reward for Robert Whittaker. So I'm very excited to see how the fight goes. I am picking Robert Whittaker by decision. I do think Ikram's good, but dude, I mean, we haven't seen enough of him. We have not seen enough of him. I don't think he can hang with Robert Whittaker. He was booked to fight Paulo Costa a while back. That fight fell through like all the other ones that fall through for Paulo Costa. And he was booked to fight on this Saturday's card against Mackenzie Dern's boyfriend, who's coming off of the Contender Series, who is just not good at all. I mean, it was literally a layup for Ikram Aliskerov, and now he's going to fight a real top contender. But I do think that if there's anyone that the UFC could have taken to fight Robert Whittaker, this is the guy, because he's coming off of a full training camp, and he's super, super close to Khamzat Shemaev when it comes to just how they are and how they fight. So I do think this fight's going to be a lot more interesting and close than a lot of people think, but I am going to pick Robert Whittaker. Prayers up to Khamzat Shemaev. And yeah, honestly, I feel like this card is all but saved because Ikram Aliskerov, I think it keeps the main event good. I think it's nice and I think it's fine. I honestly think this fight's going to be really, really good, and I think this guy's very, very similar to Khamzat Shemaev, and the fight's going to be great. And the fight card is still absolutely loaded for a fight night. In my opinion, I think this fight card is way better than UFC 301, which you had to pay $80 for. So I do still think this fight's going to be great. Prayers up to Khamzat Shemaev. I really hope he has a speedy recovery because his downfall has to be studied. I mean, the fall off of Khamzat Chimaev is insane, and how high he rose and how far he's fallen without even losing a fight is just absolutely insane to me. It's tragic, it sucks, and Khamzat Chimaev is one of the biggest wasted potentials in UFC history.